Christmas in July. Let's go make this precious pillow. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. I started with a Home for Christmas pillow pattern by Missouri Star Quilt Company. And they are giving you a free download. The download to the pattern is linked in the caption. Now we're doing Christmas in July, so I'm doing mine with Christmas fabric. But you could do these with any fabrics. You choose what you like, and that's what I want you to make. Okay, you've downloaded your pattern, you've printed it out. What do you do next? Let's see what our instructions say. It won't take long to get in the holiday spirit when you add cheery Christmas pillows to your bed, chairs, or sofa. Be sure to make a few extras as gifts for your family and friends. They will love them. The first thing we're going to do is make half square triangles. It says on the reverse side of 4 light print squares. These came from a layer cake, which are 10-inch by 10-inch squares. And I knew I needed that because the front of my pattern says project pattern for 10-inch squares right here. I'm going to choose 4 of them. It says light print. So I'm going to choose that one, this one, 1, 2, 3. We need 1 more. These are so pretty. Okay, 4 pieces. Our instructions say on the reverse side of 4 light print squares, draw a line from corner to corner twice on the diagonal. So what that means is we're gonna take this 10-inch square and a ruler. Let me get one. I'm just using my cutting ruler, corner to corner. Now the way this pattern is having us make half square triangles, it's gonna make 4 at a time. And what you're gonna do is draw this X and then you're gonna sew on either side of the line and cut it apart. You can mark this with a fabric marker. Somebody said a children's washable marker, which I thought was kind of genius, or even a Sharpie, because you're not gonna see the marks that we're making right now. It's just a guide for you to sew by, but it's gonna end up on the inside of your quilt. We've drawn an X on the back of each one of our squares. Our next set of directions says, lay a light print square with a contrasting print with right sides facing. That means pretty side face up, pretty side face down. Any 2 colors you want, a light color and a contrasting color. It doesn't say dark, it just says contrasting. So you want something that's going to contrast with what you got. All right, that's 1. The second one, pretty side up. We're gonna use green. Pretty side down. I've got a few clips. I'm just gonna clip on 2 sides, but you can pin or clip all the way around, whatever it is that you are comfortable with. The third one, pretty side up, pretty side down. And the last one. So I did 2 red and cream and 2 green and cream, but you can do whatever you want, just as long as they contrast. Choose the fabrics that you like. These are from the Sugarberry collection by Andover. And y'all, all of these fabrics are so cute. Okay, so we have marked them, we've chosen what goes together, we've clipped them. I'm going to go and sew down this side of my line and down this side of my line. And then the same thing here and here to all 4 pieces. 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you started, when you stop, like always. And what we're gonna do is put the edge of our presser foot next to this line and we're gonna stitch all the way down. Straight stitch, super easy. Thank you, Missouri Star Quilt Company, for sending us these beautiful fabrics and for giving us the download to make these gorgeous pillows. These would be precious for every holiday or for no holiday, just because they would be a great housewarming gift or wedding gift. Perfect idea to spruce up your living room, or if you have a covered porch, these would be great on there too. I'm laughing at the big baby in the kitchen who's telling me all kinds of corny jokes. Okay, so now back to our pillow. We are working on Christmas in July, and these would make great Christmas gifts. You could make them match the decor of the person that you're giving it to, and there's not a more thoughtful gift than something that's handmade. This would also be a great scrap buster because you just need 10-inch by 10-inch squares and lots lots of us in our stash have pieces that are not much bigger than that. So make it from your scraps or buy new fabric. But either way, whenever you make these, I need you to email me a photo to hometownquiltcompany@gmail.com for show and tell, because we all want to see. I'm chain stitching my pieces, and yes, I'm back stitching at the beginning and at the end of every single one. And I know lots of people don't back stitch, and maybe that works for them. I'm not telling you. Yes, I am. My grandmother terrified me. She told me if I didn't back stitch, my stuff was going to fall apart. So if you ask me, I'm going to say yes, back stitch always. Okay, what we've done is taken our light colored pieces, drawn an X, and then we've sewn on each side of the X a straight stitch all the way down. Now, it doesn't matter what color thread you use because you're not going to see any of this. All of this is going to be inside your pillow. I'm just looking to make sure I did, in fact, sew on both sides of each line. After we've sewn that, our directions say cut the sewn squares in half vertically and horizontally. So, we're going to cut them this away and this away. Then cut on the drawn lines. So then we're going to cut in between our sets of stitches that we made on the lines that we drew. This cutting mat is from Missouri Star, and this is my Missouri Star rotary cutter. So I'm going to cut all of these just like my pattern tells me to. Now when I'm cutting these down the center, I am lining them up on my mat, and I'm cutting them at the number 5 because you just want to cut straight down the center of them. And I'm cutting all of mine at once. If you're not comfortable with your rotary cutter, don't do this, okay? Our square is 10 inches by 10 inches, and we want to cut it in half, which would be at the 5 mark, and turn it and cut it again. And then we want to cut directly on the lines that we drew, because now we have sewn on either side of that line. Okay, now it says to open each half square triangle unit and press the seam toward the darker fabric. So we're going to open it up, and we're going to press the seam that way toward the darker fabric. This is my ironing situation. We've talked about this before. Heat resistant pad, wool mat, sheet iron. Everything's from Walmart, and everything's linked in the caption if you're looking for it. Now we're going to iron, and our instructions say to iron the seam towards the darker side. So here's the front of my block, here's the back of my block. You see that? We've ironed our seam over towards the darker side. We're going to do that to every one of these blocks. You go iron yours while I iron mine. If you've been around long, you know that I have a 23-year-old and a set of 3-year-old twins. Long story short, I did not empty nest well. The 23-year-old works for me full-time, and he has to be the most distracting employee ever. He's in the kitchen telling me jokes again, and it's just like when he moved from the back seat to the front seat. He's the most distracting.
Why was Dad playing jokes on you?
That was Bubby playing jokes on me. He was telling me all kinds of funny jokes.
What is the best one?
Which one is the best one? I had a little help with my voiceover, but I guess it's only fitting that they have a part in it too, right? Now, I'm only ironing my seam to one side. Iron it however you want to. If you want to iron it open, I want you to iron it open. If you want to iron it to one side, I want you to iron it to one side. If you want to iron it to the lighter side of the fabric, it's your pillow. You do it how you want to do it. Okay, so we have marked, we've sewn, we've cut, we've ironed. It says square each unit to 4.5 inches. I'm not squaring mine. Mine are 4.5 or close enough. I'm satisfied. But what that means, if you want to square yours, is you would put it on your mat and you would cut it so that it was 4.5 this way and 4.5 this way. Each set of sewn squares will yield 8 half square triangle units, and 16 are needed for each pillow. We're going to make both designs. The first one is option 1. We're going to lay our pieces out to look like this, and then our pillow is going to look like this. Arrange 4 matching half square triangles into a 4-patch quadrant as shown. So we need this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Here are our first sets. So our instructions say, arrange 4 matching half square triangles into a 4-patch quadrant as shown. This is what we're making right here. And then it says make 2. Now, we need 2 more of these squares in a contrasting fabric. Let's do this green and red. It's so pretty. We're going to lay it out the same way, only we're going to put the light colors on the inside this time. So it tells me that you need 16 for each pillow. And this is 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Now we're going to sew each one of these blocks together. And what I'm going to do is pick this up pretty side to pretty side, sew right here. Open it up, pick this one up. Sew right here, open it up. This is sewn and this is sewn. I'm going to lay it on top and sew right here. And I'm going to do that to all 4 blocks. And when you're sewing a half square triangle, you want to start on the end that has the seams that meet, because we don't even care what's happening down here. But if you've squared yours up, then they're exactly the same size anyway. But start at the top, make sure those 2 seams match, and come down. And you'll do that to all your pieces. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop, because my grandma said so.
What you're looking at is only half of the half square triangles that we created. The pattern is for 2 separate pillows. So we're going to use half of them to make this pillow, and then y'all are going to meet me back here tomorrow, and we're going to make the second pillow.
Okay, I've sewn all of mine into sets of 2. Now I'm going to iron them again. I'm going to open it up and iron it flat. I love Christmas in July. Y'all, I've had the most fun making Christmas ornaments and Christmas gifts. I love Christmas. The little lady's birthday is in August, and they asked the other day, Mom, when's it going to be Christmas? And I said, well, baby, after your birthday. Is it almost our birthday? And almost to them is like tomorrow. And I said, well, no, it's not almost your birthday, but it's getting closer. Can you show me on the calendar? So we did, and they said that all of their L's are Y's. Yeah, like my yegg. And my sweet Olive said, that's going to take a really long time. And to them, it will be a long time. To the rest of us, it will be super fast. But I've had a good time with Christmas in July. And I'm super thrilled when Missouri Star said, hey, Tam, can we send you a couple of things and we'll give the downloads to your followers and you can make the projects? I said, absolutely. So they said, what do you want to make? I said, you send me what you want me to make, because I don't really care what I'm sewing. I just want to sew. I want to sew for y'all, and I want to sew with y'all. And I hope that some of y'all are going to be able to come and see me in Missouri in September. I'm excited about telling my story and showing y'all pictures of my family. It's going to be so much fun. I've ironed all of those. Now, our picture says to lay them out like this. So we're going to do that again. Now, this is going to be one block. So this will be one block, this will be one block, this will be one block, and this will be one block. So what I'll do is take the 2 pieces, put them pretty side to pretty side, and sew right down this side. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. The most important thing is that these 2 seams in the middle line up. I mean, we'd love for the block to be perfectly square when we're done, but really that doesn't matter. These 2 seams in the middle matter. So line those up first, and then sew from one end to the other. You're going to do that to all 4 blocks.
The tickets for my event go on sale July the 16th. Y'all keep asking, and it makes my heart almost burst that y'all want to go. I am so thrilled to meet every single one of y'all that are going to be there with me. It's because of you that I'm getting to live this dream. I did not even know to dream this big, and y'all are making dreams that I didn't even know that I had come true.
We've sewn them. Now let's iron them open. And listen, when you sew these and your points don't match, we don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody is coming in your living room looking at the pillow that you made and saying, your points don't match. Because you know how to get your points to match? Practice. That's it. There's no crazy secret. There's no formula that's going to get you there. It's like playing a musical instrument. The only thing that's going to make it better is practice. But in the meantime, while your stuff isn't exactly like you want it to look, and I didn't say perfect because I've never made anything perfect. But in the meantime, while your stuff doesn't look exactly the way you want it to, so what? You show it off anyway, because guess what? Those people that are coming in your living room, they are not even noticing your points don't match. Nobody is. 0 people on the planet are looking and saying, oh, you could have done better. So make the pillow, practice the blocks. And if your points don't match, that's okay. They'll match next time, or the next, or the next. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Okay. Now, our instructions say, sew the 4 quadrants together to complete the pillow top. So this one, okay, here's my picture I'm going by. This one, this one, and this one. So I'm going to sew these together the same way I sewed these together. I'm going to sew these 2 and then these 2, and then I'm going to fold it over and sew right there. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitch when you start and when you stop. Easy. I promise. Easy, easy, y'all. Okay, when you're sewing these, same thing. You want these center seams to match up. Won't even care what's happening with the top and the bottom. Now, in theory, they're all square and it's fine, but obviously mine are not. Do you see that? And do I care? No. Is it going to be fine? Yes. Are you going to be able to tell when I'm finished? No. So line your center seam up and then sew it right here.
I could not count if I tried all of the things that are in my house that the points don't match on. And no one has ever noticed. And if they did, I would tell them to get out of my house.
Okay, we've sewn it. I'm looking back at my picture again because I want to know which way it's supposed to be going. And it looks like this away and this away. Because we have arrows pointing up, in, this away, and that away. Now, I'm going to iron these 2. And then I'm going to sew those. Just like this. But first I'm going to iron it, because if I don't, my seams won't match, and then I'll be mad at myself because I didn't iron. So, take the extra few minutes and iron. I promise, it makes all the difference in the world. Now, this is what our pillow's going to look like. So, we're going to pick this up, lay it pretty side to pretty side, and we're going to sew right here. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. Now, this time, we're going to match up all of the seams. We have 2 that match here, 2 that match here, and 2 that match here. We want all of those to match up.
I thought about not ironing this just because I didn't want to. But then I knew if I didn't, I'd be mad at myself in the end. So yes, iron your piece. And then when you're finished sewing it, iron it again, because it makes a nice, pretty front of your pillow.
This is what we have so far. The front of our pillow. Now, I love this, y'all. I love these fabrics. They're so pretty. Our instructions say to cut a 16.5 inch square of a backing fabric. I have this fabric that's also from the Sugarberry collection. We're just going to put it on here, pretty side to pretty side, and we're going to sew all the way around, except we're going to leave a hole. This hole is going to be so we can turn it right side out. It says, cut a 16 inch square from the backing fabric, layer the pillow fabric top and backing together with right sides facing, which means pretty side to pretty side. Sew the 2 pieces together all the way around the outer edge, leaving an opening on one side large enough to push the pillow form in place or for filling it with stuffing. I'm going to start at this mark, and I'm going to come here, down, 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 back up, and I'm going to finish at this mark. This is going to be where I start, and when I get to this mark, that will be my reminder to stop. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. And if you want to pin or clip, this is where you would do it. I'm not, but I want y'all to if you want to. Now, I'm going to stitch and back stitch, and when I get to the corner, I'm going to show you something. I stopped at my corner right here. I'm going to take my wheel. It's on the right side of your machine, and you're going to roll it towards you always. And I'm going to roll it towards me until my needle goes it down into my fabric. Then I'm going to pick up my presser foot. I'm going to turn my fabric, put my presser foot down, and keep sewing. You just needle down, presser foot up. Turn your fabric, press your foot down, and keep sewing.
I just used a Sharpie to make my 2 marks as my reminder to start and stop. And I don't normally make pillows that you have to stuff because truthfully, I don't mind the stuffing, but I don't love hand sewing the hole closed. And if I made the hole big enough to stuff a pillow form in, then I would have a really big hole to hand sew shut. So I made my hole about 3 inches.
Okay, we've sewn it. Now we're going to take our fingers, put it inside of our hole, and turn it right side out. You want to push your corners out, finger, chopstick, handy dandy tool. Do not use your scissors. It's a terrible idea. Y'all, all I can think about while I'm working on these Christmas in July projects is I thought Christmas last year was going to be fun. It's going to be even more fun this year. And because I'm working on these for Missouri Star, it makes me think about coming to Missouri Star in September. Y'all, look how precious that is. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I have some polyfill. You can use polyfill or any kind of stuffing. You can use stuffing from an old pillow. I have done that with some pillows that my little ladies have that they've beat to high heaven and needed to be replaced. I just took the stuffing out of those and used that in new projects because stuffing is expensive. Now, if you didn't want to stuff it, you could leave your hole a little larger on the side and put a pillow form in it. This pillow is 16 by 16 and I don't have a 16 by 16 pillow form. So I'm stuffing mine. You do want to make sure that it's stuffed nice and full and that your corners are pushed out so your pillow is really cute. Oh my goodness, and look what you just made. Now I'm going to hand sew my hole closed and put this with my Christmas stuff to put on my couch. Y'all, this is really cute. This is really, really cute. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.